Hi and welcome to Spiritual Sundays. Namaste. Today I want to quickly share with you some of my favourite books for spiritual awakening or just for positive thinking and different ways to change your mindset and the outlook of life. So I'm going to dive straight in. First book I suggest you read is You Are a Badass, and it's how to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life. This book is fantastic. It's got so many funny stories that we can all relate to, and there are exercises that you can do. It says that identifying and changing the self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviours that stop you from getting what you want. So those little doubts that we have in our heads or those ideas, and then we stop ourselves because we're like, well, that's not going to work, and what are people going to think of us? This just teaches us how to be a freaking badass. And I think it was so relatable, and I really enjoyed it. I took away a lot from it with the exercises. She talks about vision boards and things like that, and positive ways that you can become your greatest self. So definitely give that one a read. My second book that I'm currently still reading is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I did think it was Tolle, but I was mistaken. This book is so eye-opening, and I think everyone on the planet should read this freaking book because it's all about living in the now and living in the present moment. And we're so caught up as humans in our everyday lives and the current pandemic and all the negativity that's around it that we get swallowed into it, and we forget to live in the now, in the present moment. And I'm a sucker for it, and I'm sure you are as well, but you just end up missing beautiful things because your thoughts are controlling everything. You're living in the past and the future, and what am I going to do? What have I got to do today? What have I got to do next week? What have I got to do at the weekend? Whereas actually we should just be. We should just suck up every moment that we're living, because you will miss that beautiful flower on a walk, or you will not listen to a friend who's really talking to you. Like, do you really listen when your people are talking to you, or are you sitting there thinking, oh yeah, shit, I forgot to pick up the bread? This book is so powerful, and I love it because Eckhart gets really feisty. It's written in a question and answer format. So he's basically put in loads of questions that people have asked him throughout his life and his teachings, and he answers them. And I love the fact that sometimes he gets so brutal and in your face, and it's just because he's passionate about it, and he feels that everyone should be living and be conscious, because we all live unconsciously. We're just like robots. So when you actually start living in the now, you will see such a change in your life, and you'll just feel happier and joyful. So give this one a read. My next book, which is up there, is The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I'm going to do a whole Spiritual Sunday on The Miracle Morning because it has changed my friggin' life. It is the 6 habits that will transform your life before 8 a.m. Now, this book might scare you. It scared me at first. I found out about this book from listening to a podcast called The Law of Attraction Changed My Life, which is great. Head over and listen to it if you can. It's all about changing your daily structure with the morning. So I am not a morning person. I never have been. Kieran just used to say that I was such a teenager. I don't start work until 10, so I can really push my lay-ins till like 9, half 9 if I'm going to be a right skank about it. So this was literally like trying to, when I saw that it was like, when I read one chapter, it was like get up at 5 a.m. I was like, nah, honey. So it does talk about getting up 1 hour earlier before you usually do. So I usually got up at like 9, half 9, and I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to do an hour, I'm going to go 2. So I get up every morning at 7 a.m. and do the Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning is all about setting yourself up for the day and taking time out for you, because in our busy lives, our hectic scheduled lives, when do we actually stop and breathe? And what is it that we register with ourselves? What is it we want out of this life, this one life that we're given? What is it that we want to do? And this gives you a chance every morning to just reflect, and it's called Savers. I'll go into it in more detail on another Spiritual Sunday, but please get this book and be open-minded, because it's changed my whole outlook on life. And when you set your day up in the morning with some silence, with some affirmations, with some visualizations, with reading a book, with having a cup of tea, doing a bit of exercise, even if it's 10 star jumps just to get your blood pumping around your body, it sets you up for the day. You end up having such a better outlook on life, and your day will just go so much smoother. So read this friggin' book, okay? My top book that I have to talk about was a gift from a friend for my birthday, and it was on one of my lists to read, but I never got round to it, and when a book looks pretty big, it does sometimes scare me, but this is one you have to read. It is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Some of you probably already know who Jay is. He's got a really great podcast called On Purpose. There's a lot of videos that flit around on social media of him talking about outlooks on life and not taking things for granted, etc. But this book, it is a monster, but you know, the writing's quite big, and there's lots of, in these grey patches, there's always exercises, and there's a lot of those. This is so eye-opening. It is probably one of the best books I have ever read. It's all like it's got teachings on how to live a more joyful life, how to practice meditation, how to practice the power of positive thoughts, the power of living in the now again. And there's whole chapters, and one chapter that spoke to me massively was all about the ego. We all have an ego, and that ego is, we need ego to survive. The ego gives us the reasons to get up in the morning, and it helps us with our job and our future goals and stuff, but the ego is also a little wanker. It just makes us so self-absorbed and self-obsessed to the point that some people, and even I've caught myself doing it, and I think this is a really good thing to take from this book. You will learn so much, and then you catch yourself doing the things that he talks about, and it makes you then change the thought or the thing that you're going to say. So it does bring you into the now, and you're really conscious about your thoughts and the things you say out loud and put out into the universe. It's just to train your mind for peace and purpose every day. And what some of you might think, shut the fuck up, Kirst. Stop preaching. And I'm not preaching. I just think if I can help one person and they can read one of these books and it changes their life in even the smallest detail, then I'm doing what I set out to do. But yeah, I can't encourage you enough to all get this book and read it. And if you don't like reading and something this big scares you, then why don't you download an Audible and hear Jay Shetty's lovely voice just reading the book to you. So yeah, that is it. There are so many other books I'd love to talk about, but they are my top 4 books that I think you should all run out and buy. Have a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful week. Bye!